Hi. Aren't you Basil Fearrington, the musician and astrologer? Yes, I am. Have we met before? We didn't have a formal meeting. I attended the United Astrology Conference in Atlanta in 1998. You gave a lecture there that was sensational. By the time you were halfway through, they almost had to open another room. Yes. That was kind of a debut for me. I have had the privilege of being on that staff twice. It was really an honor and the presentation in Atlanta went very well. Thanks for the recognition. I would love to be able to ask you some questions. Can I buy you a coffee or something? Do you have the time? If there is any place around here that serves fresh squeezed fruit or vegetable juice, I have about a half hour to kill. Great. There is a health bar just around the corner. I can start asking you questions on the way there. I recall that your presentation was on the signatures of success and prominence in the horoscope. Why did you select that topic, a topic I have seen you write about as well? The great majority of people who come to an astrologer do so because it has something to do with money or love. There is always an interest there. Secondly, I have always been interested in studying the horoscopes of those who are very successful and/or prominent. Since the study revealed such pointed results, I wanted to share the information. I wasn't advanced enough to understand you in 1998. Can you kind of paraphrase what your studies revealed? Sure. It starts with Pluto. Pluto is the most powerful planet in our astrology today, but didn't they say that Pluto isn't a planet anymore or something? Forget that. It means nothing in astrology. Pluto is very alive and kicking in our horoscopes. You see, the slower the planet moves, the more powerful its impact is. Although Pluto is kind of inside Neptune's orbit right now, it is clearly the most impactful planet in our horoscopes, okay? That makes complete sense, because it stays in one location for quite a long time when it transits something in your horoscope. Yes. Because it makes such a strong impact, and is so powerful, it passes on this power to whatever it contacts through aspects. There are a lot of words used to describe Pluto. I think of one thing regarding Pluto and the word is extremes. Extremes. When Pluto is making aspect contact with other planets in the natal horoscope, that planet has the potential to operate in its most extreme fashion. Can you give me an example? Sure. Pluto to Mercury would be genius or insanity. Pluto to Venus would be the nun or whore. Pluto to Mars would suggest applied energy in full force or the wimp concept. Okay. I get it. I think Oprah Winfrey has a Mercury contact. Yes. So when we take this and apply it to Jupiter, what is already large and expansive becomes humongous in its potential. Okay. I get it. So the deal is that when there is hard aspect contact between Jupiter and Pluto, and especially when a planet, point, or angle or at the midpoint of Jupiter and Pluto, the chances of success are heightened, but there is a caveat. What is the caveat? Planets do nothing. A horoscope is a drawing on a piece of paper. Having any of these indications in one's horoscopes doesn't mean anything, unless you are out there busting your ass to make things happen. All too often, people think that some kind of success is going to just jump out of the sky when Jupiter conjuncts the sun, or whatever. It doesn't work that way. Opportunity and success come to people who have worked for it. Otherwise, if you are sitting on your ass at home, bissing life away, what is in your horoscope means nothing. Yay. That should be common sense. It really should be, but unfortunately, many astrologers believe that humans are pawns of a fate delivered by the planets. It sickens my stomach to hear and read some of the things I come across. There was one woman who said that she had an argument with her boss because transiting Mars was on her Mercury. Things do not happen to you because of a horoscope. The horoscope just symbolizes what happens, like an X-ray. The X-ray didn't cause the heart attack. It just shows the conditions around it, so that better understanding can take place. Wow. A lot of astrologers will sling mud your way because of that. I'm dedicated to a rational, sane, practical, helpful presentation of astrology. I've been doing this for over 40 years. I have read and heard more crap than you can imagine, so I know how to separate the garbage from the cream. Believe me, being a bad astrologer begins with the thought process that a planet is doing something to your life, okay? I get it about Jupiter and Pluto. What about prominence though? Not everyone who is successful is prominent in the world. Yes, you are right. When Pluto makes hard aspect contact to an angle, or is in an angle, the potential for prominence is heightened. And while I'm thinking about it regarding the midpoint pictures, Pluto equals Sun Jupiter is also very powerful, as is Jupiter equals Sun Pluto. Most astrologers think midpoints are esoteric. That is okay. To each his own, but I can tell you that if a person has an outer planet at the Sun-Moon midpoint, then you cannot see that you are missing a major symbolic dynamic in that person's life. I understand the concept of thinking that they are esoteric. Many of us are living in the past. For example, secondary progressions are useless outside of the moon's movement. Solar arcs are where it is at, yet the great majority of astrologers don't use them. To each his own. Gotcha. Oprah has Uranus equals Jupiter Pluto with Pluto opposing Mercury. Steven Spielberg has Jupiter Pluto at his Aries point. So did Michael Jackson. Madonna has it too. In fact, Madonna's Pluto conjoins the ruler of her midheaven and ascendant. Few people have been more prominent than Muhammad Ali. He has Pluto squaring his midheaven and opposing his Sunday. President Obama's Pluto is in the 7th house with his ascendant at the Jupiter-Pluto midpoint. Does the 2nd house play any role in this? None. The 2nd house has traditionally been linked to one's personal income. That is true. It is also true that traditionally, hard aspects to the ruler of the 2nd house, or say a Neptune or Saturn in the 2nd house, were guarantees of poverty. I will go back to Steven Spielberg, who is a billionaire. The Sun rules his 2nd house. It is opposed by Uranus. And he has a Saturn-Pluto conjunction in the 2nd house. It doesn't get much worse. This clearly has nothing to do with his financial picture. It has everything to do about his sense of self-worth. Self-worth? Yes. Money is not important for everyone in the world, but everyone has to deal with how they feel about themselves in terms of value and worth. It is much more important psychologically. How you feel about yourself in terms of worth and value dominates your life. Horrendous self-worth can destroy a life much more easily than poverty. Wow! This has been enlightening. Do you teach? I would love to study with you. Yes, I do. Take my card and give me a call or send an email. I would love to share in your learning process. It is quite affordable. I will do that. Thanks a lot. It was really my pleasure.